One quiet morning in March 2018, a car was discovered at the base of a cliff in Mendocino County, California. The wreckage, along with bodies scattered nearby, suggested a horrific accident. But as investigators dug deeper, they uncovered something far more sinister. This was no tragic crash, it was the final act of a dark and deeply disturbing story. What led this family to the edge, literally and figuratively? And why had no one seen the warning signs before it was too late? Jennifer Jean Hart, known as Jen, was born on June 4th, 1979, in South Dakota, USA. While her mother's name remains private, her father, Douglas, worked in the Federal Energy Administration. Jen was the eldest of three siblings, growing up in the small town of Huron, surrounded by nature and opportunities for sports. She broke from traditional gender norms by choosing to play baseball with boys instead of softball. Beyond athletics, Jen had a love for animals and played the trumpet at Christmas church services with her siblings. Despite this seemingly normal childhood, her family life was far from stable. When Jen was 12, her parents divorced. She and her siblings stayed with their mother while Douglas moved to another part of town, remaining in regular contact. At 14, Jen decided to live with her father, but the arrangement didn't last. Her behavior became difficult to manage, and Douglas eventually sent her back to her mother's home. Despite this turbulent phase, Jen graduated high school in 1997 and made an unexpected choice. She enrolled at Austina University, a conservative Lutheran institution. Even more surprising, she chose to be baptized into the Lutheran Church, despite not being raised in the faith. 2 years into her studies, Jen transferred to Northern State University, where she met Sarah Margaret. Sarah, born on April 8, 1979, in North Dakota, was the eldest of four children. The two quickly became inseparable and moved in together on campus. Both pursued degrees in education, with Sarah focusing on special education. Despite outward appearances of stability, Jen's struggles continued. In January 2000, she was caught shoplifting. When questioned by police, she admitted she wasn't sure why she did it, hinting at personal issues but providing no details. Ultimately, she pleaded guilty to petty theft. Jen never finished college, though Sarah graduated in 2002. Over time, Jen distanced herself from her family, cutting ties completely. Even her father never knew about her relationship with Sarah. According to him, their estrangement had nothing to do with Jen's sexual orientation. After Sarah's graduation, the couple moved to Minnesota, purchasing a two-story home near the mall where they both worked. It was during this time that they began living openly as a couple, an openness that caused some friends to drift away. In 2005, Sarah legally changed her last name to Hart, cementing their commitment. Shortly after, Jen and Sarah decided to become foster parents. Their first foster child, a 15-year-old girl, later revealed that she had planned to stay with them until adulthood, but was asked to leave when the couple decided to adopt. In 2006, Jen and Sarah adopted three siblings from Texas: Marcus, 8, Hannah, 4, and Abigail, 2. 2 years later, they adopted three more: Devontae, 5, Jeremiah, 4, and Sierra, 2. All six children were African American. Jen quit her job to become a stay-at-home mom, documenting their lives on social media. Her posts painted a picture of a joyful, culturally rich household. She shared moments of the kids playing musical instruments, dressing in matching costumes for the Goonies anniversary, and achieving academic milestones. The children often appeared in photos holding signs reading, "Love is always beautiful," wearing matching outfits with wide smiles. But behind these carefully curated posts, the reality was far from perfect. In 2008, while living in Minnesota, authorities received a troubling report. One of the children told police that Sarah had hit her with a belt. When questioned, the couple claimed the girl had simply fallen down the stairs. With no further evidence, the case was closed. However, in 2010, another incident raised concerns. 6-year-old Abigail confided in her teacher that she had bruises on her stomach and back. She revealed she was frequently denied food and had even been punished by having her head submerged in cold water for allegedly stealing a penny. When questioned, Sarah admitted to hitting Abigail in a fit of rage, while Jen acknowledged knowing about the abuse. Authorities confirmed that all 6 children had been physically punished and deprived of food. Sarah pleaded guilty to domestic assault, but was only sentenced to 1 year of community service. No jail time. Shockingly, the children remained in their custody. Following the investigation, Jen and Sarah pulled the children from public school, opting for homeschooling instead. Jen publicly claimed this decision was to protect them from discrimination, though she never mentioned it on social media. Instead, she shared idyllic photos of their science class in the woods. Despite their picture-perfect online persona, more reports surfaced. In 2013, neighbors in Oregon accused the couple of abuse, calling their parenting emotionally abusive, controlling, and cruel. Witnesses described unusual household rules. The children had to raise their hands before speaking, weren't allowed to celebrate birthdays, and were forbidden from laughing at the dinner table. Even when investigators visited the home, the children, likely coached, insisted they were treated well. With no concrete evidence, the case was closed. Jen dismissed the allegations as homophobic attacks against a white lesbian couple raising black children. In 2014, the family became unexpectedly famous. During protests over the police shooting of Michael Brown, a photographer captured Devante tearfully hugging a white police officer. The image went viral, becoming a symbol of unity, but behind closed doors, the family was falling apart. After the photo's fame, Jen and Sarah suddenly moved their family to Washington, claiming they no longer felt safe. Their new neighbors soon became alarmed. In late 2017, 12-year-old Hannah was seen climbing out of a window in the middle of the night, fleeing to a neighbor's house. She begged not to be sent back. Another neighbor noticed Devante frequently asking for food, sometimes multiple times a day. The children appeared malnourished. One daughter was missing 2 front teeth. Jen and Sarah claimed she simply didn't want them replaced. Finally, in March 2018, Child Protective Services opened an investigation. But by the time social workers arrived at the Hart home, the family had vanished. Authorities later reconstructed their final days. On March 24, 2018, Jen and Sarah left Oregon with the children. They stopped briefly in North Carolina before continuing their journey. On March 25th, Jen was seen buying groceries. That night, they continued driving. Then, on March 26th, their SUV was found at the bottom of a cliff. Investigators determined Jen was behind the wheel. The vehicle had been stopped at a pullout before accelerating over the edge. Jen and Sarah were found dead inside, while 3 children, Abigail, Jeremiah, and Marcus, were discovered outside the car. Weeks later, Sierra's body washed ashore. Part of Hannah's foot was found in May. Devante's body was never recovered. Toxicology reports revealed Jen had consumed enough alcohol to impair her abilities. Sarah and 2 of the children had sedatives in their systems. Disturbingly, Sarah had searched online for ways to induce drowsiness and how long it took to die from hypothermia in a car. Investigators concluded this was a premeditated act. Feeling cornered, Jen and Sarah chose to end their lives, and tragically, their children's as well. This case remains a chilling reminder of how social media can mask a horrifying reality, and how a system designed to protect children can fail them at every turn.